Calvin C. Hamby.
And people call you CC?
CC. I go by CC, yes.
Okay. And what's your birth date?
8/30/23.
All right. And let's see, today is March 1st, 2021.
He was born in the hot summer, wasn't
And where did you grow up?
Grew up in Dayville, Alabama.
Okay, not far from here then, right?
Right.
And oh, hang on, this tends to turn off by itself. If that happens, I'll just stop and turn it back on. So, you grew up in Dadeville, and you went to high school there?
Yes, sir. In Dayville.
Okay. What was the school name? Dadeville High School?
Yes, sir. I believe that's right.
And you tell me, walk me through your joining the service. Were you drafted?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's what he went on, if you want to know.
Yeah. So
He pulled me straight that and get me to
had you graduated from high school already?
No, sir.
Oh, you hadn't
No,
before.
sir.
You were drafted before you graduated.
Right.
Wow. And so where did you go first when you had to go for training?
We went to Atlanta, from Dayville to Atlanta.
You were in the Army, right?
Right. Yes, sir.
And just so get this on the record, you were in the 216th Field Artillery,
Right.
35th Infantry Division.
Right.
Okay. And so where'd you go for training? Basic training? Atlanta.
Well, when we left Atlanta, we went to San Bispo, California. And we took training out there about 2 months. After that, we got on the train and come back to Fort Rucker, Alabama.
Okay.
And we stayed there until we started taking field artillery training and all that. And when we left there, we went to out to Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And we trained there about 2 months. And after that, we get us to New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And we stayed there for training until we got on the ship to go overseas. We left there. It took us 21 days to get from Atlanta to England.
To where?
To England.
Oh, okay.
And this course, we stayed there until the invasion or the war.
Mm-hmm.
And when we left there, we went up there in the wilderness up over pass. And we stayed there until they got enough room. I was in artillery, and so we didn't have no place to put the guns up. And when we got there, we just barely had enough room to put the guns up.
Yeah.
And so we stayed there. That's where we started the war right there. And So sometime later, we moved up to St. Louis.
Yeah.
Right, so
In France.
right,
Yeah.
and we stayed there, and we all was lined up on the mountain, top of the mountain. The hill went straight down, no more.
Do you remember when that was? Like what year?
Oh, that would have to be
44?
44, I would say.
So this is after D-Day.
Yes, sir, we that's right. I wasn't in either.
But you came
Came,
after
came right after.
and moved into St. Louis?
Yes.
Okay.
It was at the Battle of the Bulge.
And then we got we was sitting up there on that hill, and the lieutenant, he was sitting there with us. I can't remember his name. And he said, "You know what I'd like to see?" He said, "I'd like to see 500 bombers come over and hit St. Louis." And it wasn't about an hour we heard the terriblest noise you ever heard. And of course, we didn't count them, but we guessed it was 500 big bombers come over. That's when they tore St. Louis up.
Hmm.
And then after that, we started chasing the enemy. And, well, my outfit, the whole thing, all 216 to the 5th Division, we didn't have a big fight coming up. They moved us up close enough where we could use our guns.
What kind of artillery did you use?
205 Housers.
Pretty big, huh?
Yes, and so we really was a backup with the ones out in front of.
Okay.
And I was in communications, so I got to go up front when the bad stuff was happening. So me and a couple more persons, went up there. We go up, follow the infantry through their battles, and cleared the way for the rest of them to come on up.
Yeah. How far did you go in France?
I went to Elbe River.
Where?
Elbe River.
Okay.
And that's where the Russians cut us off. The Russian tanks came up on the other side of the river. We were at an outpost. And all the Russian tanks, they came up on the other side of the river.
Okay.
And went on by, and they the one who went in Germany, so deep in Germany. And that's where we was at when the war ended. Instead of sitting up on that outpost.
So that was in 45.
45, right.
But I heard you took part in the Battle of the Bulge.
I wasn't in the battle of the Bulge, but we when they got it cleared, we moved up as safety, I guess we could call it safety, to make sure it wasn't the most Germans coming up that hill there.
But you were in the rear during those cold months
Yes,
in Belgium, right?
right, yes.
Can you describe the weather, what it was like?
Oh, yeah, it was rain, it was sleet, it was snow.
For weeks, right?
Yes. we didn't have the right kind of clothes to hit that kind of weather. We hadn't run in that yet. They had to get us no wool clothes to wear. We still had our blue jeans. I mean, just regular pants and shirt. I had a poncho and one blanket. And that's all the cover I had to sleep at night. I spread my poncho down on the ground, lay that on it, then
Just right
cover
on the
up with
ground?
a blanket.
Yeah. Where did you sleep?
I,
Where did you sleep at that time?
I didn't know.
Out in the open,
Yes,
on the ground.
go on the ground.
Just like the guys on the front lines, they were in foxholes and
Right. Oh, we all had foxholes.
yeah.
We dig a foxhole when we first get to the place, to stay for a few minutes or so.
Did the German artillery reach you where you were? The German
Yeah.
88s?
One move we made, and we got up too close to the enemy, and the tank come up on top of a hill, and they shelled. They put 2 shells, I guess about 4 hits to the road out there in the distance. They killed 4 of our people with those shells. If it had been for his church father, they blow our kitchen up when they was cooking our meals. So we moved out of there, we moved back. And so that was, I guess you should say we were wrong, but they were tired to, because we were too far up front.
Yeah. How far would your artillery fire towards the enemy?
I'd say probably just a little forward from here to the courthouse. That'd be a mile.
A mile
Uh-huh.
or so? Yeah.
Now that lot of that would be a guess. Really would be a guess.
Yeah. Some of your most vivid memories from during the Battle of the Bulge and to the end of the war?
Well, we could catch up with them. Every time we stopped and stood up, we had to move on closer and closer and closer. But the time we was at the Bulge, it was a hill went straight down there. The clouds was between the ground and us. So we didn't just see the earth over on that side of the button.
Yeah.
So one morning we woke up. When we woke up, we got up at that cloud had moved there. And it was Germans. Well, we was about halfway from into the road out there from the edge of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
So about 10 o'clock that morning, one German, he give up. He come out with his hands on his back of his head and all that. And he said he was passing death. Said they wasn't feeding him down there. They've been there all the time. We've been sitting up over there in that mountain. And so somebody on the line called Air Forces or a little plane come over and they shot. It's one soldier on the motorcycle leaving. So they followed him a little way. They put him to the ground. So they circled one on back. That's the last we heard of. That's when we left there. When we did finally leave there, we went to an outpost in Elm River. And that's where the war ended. We were sitting right on the bank of Elm River.
So what did you guys think when you heard that the war was over?
Well, we all had a fit. We jumped up and down, hollering, hooting, around. But they sent a message to us. It was supposed to be no gunfire. No gun was supposed to fire. So we couldn't shoot our rifles because they told us not to.
I bet some did anyway.
Yeah, we wanted to, might have been.
And how long did you stay there before you had new orders?
We went back to where our outfit was at, and it was I had a tough time with a broke hip since I've been back, you know.
Oh,
And
really?
that's what's the matter with me now because I'm crippled. And you know, I lost a lot of that, what happened during that war, on that, after we won the war,
Yeah.
you know. And it's a lot of stuff I can't find. And I had, why she died. When did I mean die? When?
What was the question?
When did I remember? We were he was trying to remember.
I don't remember, but
Has it been
It's a-
20 years?
Huh?
it hadn't been 20 years.
No. 10?
My mother died in 12, so I was still living when mother died.
Oh, okay. So maybe 5 or 6 years, 7 years.
So,
Longer than that.
and,
Say 9 or 10.
it's a lot of stuff I lost while I was out. I was out about a month in the hospital. They gave me some medicine, knocked me out. I didn't know nothing. I didn't even know the children. No one.
After you came back home from the war, where did you go? Back to Dadeville?
Yes, sir.
And did you get you a job pretty quick? Or did you finish high school?
No, I didn't finish high school.
Okay.
Well, me and my brother, we bought, and Daddy, and bought a sawmill, Pickerwood sawmill. We sawed all of it, all that. And mostly didn't do too much until 1948. No, 1946. I went to Montgomery and got on with a telephone company.
Mm-hmm.
I worked for them 37 years.
What did you do for the phone company?
Installed telephone, tripod, built lines, everything. And so, 1951, this job came over here in Lafayette, and I bid it on it, and I got it, and I moved here. And so I've been living here ever since,
Since 1951?
1951.
Okay.
We built this house in 57.
Okay.
And
And
I had a boy, and so put him in the Scouts. I worked with Scouts right at 50 years before I quit them.
that was with who? You were working with who?
The Scouts,
Boy
Boy Scouts.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
For 50 years.
almost 50 years.
That's
So-
great.
Then I went to work with funeral home up here.
Uh-huh.
Worked for about 15, 20 years. And so
That's
I guess I'd still be working up there if I hadn't broke my hip.
yeah. Wow. Long time.
And yeah,
I'm 59, so it's yeah, you did that almost my whole life.
yeah. Well, I ain't bragging, but I wasn't lazy. I worked all my life. Worked
Yeah.
on the farm where we lived out in the country. And they,
That's one common theme that I've heard with a lot of the veterans that I've met. Many came from small towns or farms and, just worked hard
yeah,
and, before the war had never been anywhere outside the county they grew up in,
that's exactly right.
just like you.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about your service in World War II?
Oh, I'm proud of it.
I'm sure you are.
I got no regrets. I wouldn't want to do it again, but I got no regrets for what I did down in the Army.
Could I ask you this? Do you have any advice for younger generations today?
Well, the most important thing is for get a job. Most of them walk the street and try to get what we had worked for all the years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And learn. And the most thing is try to wait a minute. Get a career established and stay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't work for you tomorrow, work me next day, and work for somebody else next day. That's no good. Get your job and stick with it.
And would you consider that a good reason for why you've been around so long and done so well?
But I hope it is. Some of it.
Good, good.
I think you got to live a Christian life. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of us did do that all our lives. So we got a lot to pay for when the day comes.
Yeah. Kind kind of keep the main thing
Yes.
in your life. Okay.
Right. Uh,
I've had a lot of veterans tell me the same thing.
yeah.
Well, I want to thank you. You know, this is why I do this, just to a small way for me to give something back.
Yeah.
And I'm going to provide these prints for you and your family, and so you'll always have that. And but thank you for your service and
Well,
all
thank you.
you did to sacrifice for your family and the rest of us.
I want to thank you for your service that you do today and beforehand.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.